So S-Fund made a video here on the whole Ashes of Creation thing as well. We're gonna see this one. Bad news for Ashes of Creation. I quit. We are done. Let's see his reaction to everything. So Narc was right. Oh man. Steam release was a cash grab mandatory. Narc was right. Narc was right and you were wrong. Let's go, dude. Like I've been saying, I really want Narc to come back now on the Narc channel and make a video on this. Or even multiple videos, just bring back Narc.
Where is the news? Hold on, is it official? Okay, hold on. So here's what I want to know, because everybody's freaking out about this. Here's the first thing that we see. There's not a whole lot of like official news yet, and this is something that's like pretty disappointing, but let's see what Margaret says. This chapter has come to a close. My time at Intrepid Studios has officially ended. To the Ashes Creation community, or some of the most passionate, dedicated players I've ever seen in this industry, I genuinely wish I could have done more for you. I gave everything I had, and I did my very best with what was within my power, and I ask one last favor, please be kind to the developers for people who have families and who've lost their jobs after pouring our hearts and souls into Ashes Creation. To my incredible game services team, you're an absolute AAA team, talented, kind, collaborative, and just genuinely good people. I think you should do any project any day. I care so deeply for you, and I know our bond is one that will carry forever. I'll never forget our time together. As for all this, I don't really have the words. It wasn't what I expected, but I'm holding on to the good because there's so much of it. With that, I'm officially looking for new opportunities. If you know of any leadership or director level roles in narrative, community, marketing, or social, I'd be grateful for any leads or connections. So this is 2 hours ago. This is 3:54 what time zone? I can make a limited statement in my personal capacity, not on behalf of the company, regarding the situation. So Steven posted this, but this is clearly in response to something. But why would he say this? He prefaces it regarding the situation. It sounds like he's responding to something. Is there something else before this? Reports started coming out of, so because I'm trying to get the timeline right? You guys keep saying read it, but it completely changed the context of what's happening. Okay, so timeline. Reports start coming out that Intrepid is laying people off. Steven posts today on Discord. Margaret posts on LinkedIn. Is this right? Margaret was first, okay? To clarify, we are going to go back to Coach S fan, but I want to look into this because it seems like Ashes of Creation is over, which sucks. This is something that I was super interested in. I think any MMO fan, anybody who loves the genre, you never want to see an MMO fail or crash, but this was one that was like, okay, like hopefully this game is good. I played it for a couple weeks, like at the start.
I think out of all MMORPGs, by the way, this is probably the one that most people will celebrate when it dies. I'm not saying that's a good thing, by the way. I once again say that you should not want this game to fail if you love MMORPGs in general, because competition usually just breeds excellence, and more competitive games in the area forces other games to be better as well. I don't think celebrating this is the right choice here, but many people will, because people have been saying for years now, I say people, not everybody, but like a decent portion of the Ashes of Creation community has been saying Narc was right, or Ashes of Creation is a scam. Right? Those words have been going around all the time. So out of all games that are dying, I think this is going to be the most celebrated one, but I don't think that's a good thing. I just wanted to point that out.
Started this last like beta period with the Steam launch. My goal was to hit level 25, but I stopped. I had a bunch of other stuff going on, and then I've just been going hard on Burning Crusade for now. We always knew that there was a chance that the game wouldn't get finished. It's in early access, okay? Everybody knows there's a chance. It feels really, really shitty because it's like this happened 2 months after the Steam release. Like, this feels like super, super shitty. This sucks. There started to be some rumors and reports coming out that Intrepid is laying people off. This happened because of, I guess, LinkedIn, and this happened because of the WARN Act. So we'll go over that. Then after that, Margaret made a post on LinkedIn. Margaret is one of the community. I forgot that.
One of the things this entire situation has taught me is that until a game actually comes out, I'm just gonna start treating it as it's not real. So to me, the Riot MMO is not real. Classic Plus is not real. Nothing is real to me right now until it comes out anymore. I've been burnt too many times. And even when it comes out, New World has shown that even then it might not be real. You know what
her
I mean?
exact title, but she was like a community manager, someone who was like a bridge between like community and the devs, and she was like the middleman. Margaret is great, by the way. If you've never had a chance to talk to Margaret or interact with Margaret is like amazing. But she makes a post on LinkedIn, and after that, Steven, who is the creative director, Steven posts on Discord, like under his own sort of
Solheim
like
was
these are
right.
my words, and this is all I'm gonna say. This kind of sort of thing. So we'll go over all that. First things first, and again, I'm learning along the way too. This is news to me, and again, this absolutely blows. So it looks like, I guess there was a Reddit post 7 hours ago, new layoffs at Intrepid. What is happening? So they go and they look at some of the LinkedIn members. They look at the people on LinkedIn, and it seems like people were, before it was director of communications at Intrepid Studios. And it seems like people, their job titles were changing off of Intrepid. So she changed it, and people were like, what's going on here? This was a few hours, this is 7 hours ago. And right now it is 9 o'clock Texas time, 9 o'clock Central time. From what it sounds like, there's something called the WARN Act. The WARN Act's 33% rule is triggered for a mandatory 60-day notice for mass layoffs. If 50 to 499 employees lose their job at one site within 30 days, and that number represents at least 33% of the total active workforce, meaning if you're getting like nuked, if the company is getting shredded, and if a big company is getting shredded, the employer must provide notice similar to the threshold for 500 plus employees, though the percentages apply to the larger layoff number. Oh, so for if it's larger than 500, it doesn't matter what percentage the company 500 plus is. The rule ensures smaller companies, but still large ones with a significant percentage of their workforce affected by layoffs get the same early warning as large.
Wait, so when was the WARN Act put in then? Because as it says here, a trigger for mandatory 60-day notice for mass layoffs. So, are they being paid for 60 more days, or were they given this layoff notice 60 days ago, but they were under NDA or some shit?
Companies helping communities adjust to job losses. 60 days. So you have to tell them 2 months in advance. So there is nothing official yet on when it's over, but kind of the leaks and the rumors and
the information we have now after, I don't know, I think he watched this in real time, right? The information we have now is that the February 2nd, which is tomorrow as I'm watching this on stream, that's when it's supposed to be over now, February 2nd. Does that mean that as of February 2nd, that is their 60-day notice? But I mean, if you know that the game isn't coming out anyway, then why would you work in those 60 days, like 2 months? You can't finish Ashes in 2 months anyway, so what's the point? Or were they given this notice on the 2nd of December, and it's been kept under NDA?
Stuff started swirling around now. All we know that within 2 months it's over. So they've known for
Yeah, so the notice is tomorrow. Okay, yeah. Yeah, but still, like, if it's a 2-month notice and you know the game isn't happening, what you gonna do? Show up to work and drink coffee? Pretend to, like, code something?
2 months and said nothing. Hold on, is it confirmed studio is closing on February 2nd? I can make a limited statement in my personal capacity and not on behalf of the company regarding the situation. Control of the company shifted away from me, and the board began directing actions that I could not ethically agree with or carry out. As a result, I chose to resign and protest rather than lend my name or authority to decisions I could not ethically support. Following my resignation, much of the senior leadership team resigned. Following those departures, the board made the decision to issue WARN Act notices and proceed with a mass layoff. I cannot responsibly speak to further details at this time due to ongoing legal and governance matters. What I can say is that the developers and staff acted in good faith and they deserve better than the uncertainty they were now facing. I'm incredibly dismayed by the situation. So who's on the board? I mean, I guess they went out and they got investment from some kind of private equity is what this sounds like. And as part of having like a VC come in, they invest in the company, they get on the board, they invest money into the project because they
According to the leaked insider information, which I can't confirm, but it's just, it's leaked insider info, so take it with a pinch of salt here. But there's 4 people from like private equity companies on the board of directors, and they are making the calls. I mean, they're probably making the calls with Steven. But if it's 4 versus 1 or 4 versus 2, majority votes usually go through, right? So they tried to, once again, according to insider info that I can once again not confirm or deny, it's just stuff that has been heard, it's that they tried to fire 50 people, and then they tried to fire even more people. And Steven said no, didn't want to fire those people, didn't see the need for it, and we needed those people. And then they wanted to like outsource the work as well from like expensive developers to a cheaper location in the world for like cheaper developing, and he said no again, and then he resigned in protest. That's like the leaked insider info so far. And I guess we'll see. There's probably more information that will be made public over the next few days here.
They invest money, they ask for, you know, they want to see your books, they want to see all kinds of stuff, and they ask for a spot on the board. This is all normal, by the way, this part. Because if you have somebody investing a lot of money into your business, if you have somebody investing a lot of money into your company, that obviously they're going to want to be heavily involved in the product at that point. This is how like all like venture capital, any sort of investment, all this investment equity, all this kind of stuff, that's how it works, because they put money into something, they want to get an X amount of return. Okay, this part of it is normal. But I guess they brought people on board and the board began directing actions that I could not ethically agree with or carry out. As a result, I chose to resign. It looks like Steven says this. He says the board is making decisions. I chose to resign in protest rather than lend my name or authority to decisions I cannot ethically support. This whole thing feels terrible. I mean, I'm somebody who's really excited about the game. It's like, even if I ended up not playing the game, it's good for the genre. Like, I love MMOs. I love games. This like really blows. It also sucks because like I played it and I thought like, okay, maybe this has some promise. Right? I think it's taken way too long in development. I think you'd be completely blind to think that there was no chance that the game wasn't going to make it. Right? It'd be insane to think that there was 100% no chance that the game, like you thought there was at the very minimum like a 1% chance that the game wouldn't make it. Right? But for it to happen 2 months or less than 2 months after a Steam release, it's
this entire timeline of them going into Steam now in early access makes the early access launch on Steam. This has 2 impacts, by the way, the early access on Steam. We'll talk about one of them later in this reaction video, and me watching it on stream as well. But one of the main things is it makes it look way more of a last cash grab now, which people said back then as well. Oh, one last cash grab, push it to Steam, and get some more sales before you call it a day. And here we are, 2 months later, that is exactly what happened. One last cash grab, call it a day. And it looks like, based on the timeline of still things happening and the insider info here as well, they basically did that one last cash grab, and after the game was out on Steam, they tried to put it into what I want to call maintenance mode by firing people, cutting the cost of development, and trying to outsource it to other parts of the world where developing is cheaper. So they wanted to keep developing at a slow pace to like make progress over time, get more sales, and increase their bottom line. A healthier bottom line for those venture capital people in private equity that don't even game, right? They just want to make money.
Completely insane. Other MMOs being successful helps WoW because Blizzard steals the good ideas. No, it's good for the genre. Like, you don't want to do it. They said the game was funded. I don't understand where the money went, especially if you got investors. So they said the game was fully funded. Before, in the past, didn't they already say that the game was funded? The game was funded, and then they ran out of money, and then they went out to get funding. This was something that was known, right?
On February 2nd, 2026, Intrepid Studios will issue a layoff notice to all of its employees via first-class mail.
Where is this information coming from? What is he reading? Because anybody can write this and it'll spread like wildfire. Again,
he's reading it from a person who worked at Intrepid, but I mean, it's all he say, she say at the moment, but let's just say that a bunch of content creators are saying the same thing at the moment.
I'm going to be honest. I'm not trying to sound like a conspiracy theorist. I'm not trying to sound like a schizo, but I do believe it. So like, but I'm trying to be grounded here. And
many times people are under NDA on what they can say. So like, he can't give credit to the person who said this to him because they want to remain hidden. If anybody finds out who leaked this, that person broke NDA and is now suddenly like in court for breaking NDA, right?
And be like, okay, let's slow down a little bit. Even though I believe this, let's slow down a little bit. And where's like the evidence? A GM in game said, oh, he's reading a text from a developer and he won't reveal the source. Okay.
Intrepid Studios Act, or the WARN Act, which we had talked about. On February 2nd, 2026, Intrepid Studios will issue a layoff notice to all of its employees via first-class mail. This notice affects all job titles at all positions. The company has no alternative other than to undertake an entire and permanent plant closing within the meaning of the WARN Act.
This doesn't sound like a text from a dev. This sounds like a PR statement. That's why I'm saying, like, where did the 100% was like a dev DM'd him this and he just won't say who?
By a close of business on February 2nd, 2026. Currently, the company does not have plans to coordinate with a local workforce development board.
I'm looking for the February 2nd exactly, because if the studios are closing February 2nd and there was a WARN Act and the WARN Act says that you have to give a 60-day notice, does that not mean the 60-day notice was given before the Steam full release? That's what I'm trying to figure out here. But I don't want to be irresponsible in that assumption. You know, because that's like a pretty damning assumption as well. I mean, the whole thing is damned at this point, but like, you see what I'm saying? Wait, Theory Forge in here? Wait, so Theory Forge, where did you read that? I can't speak timing, only to what I read. Wait, so where did you read that? Or was it somebody messaged you? If somebody messaged you and you can't say, if it was over February 2nd, not they were issuing the notice on February 2nd, because that would have meant we went through that whole last 2 months after the notice and we didn't know and nobody said anything. That would have been, oh, dude. Oh, that would have been bad. So it looks like the official notice is happening February 2nd. And then the law says that you have to issue that notice with at least 60 days. Like 60 days, you have to give at least a notice 60 days before it actually happens, which is probably exactly 60 days. If they had known that this was like in the books and this was planned, I would have felt like used and it would have pissed me the hell off. That's what I was trying to confirm, is if it's all over on the 2nd, then that means they all knew, and I would have felt, I would have been livid. It looks like that's the date that things are getting issued. So I guess this was just leaked and it's early. I'll be honest with you. I'll just tell you straight up. I had devs from multiple really big companies messaging me, MMO devs from different companies, were like, hey, what'd you think of Ashes? What'd you think of this? Tons of people were asking me because everybody in the industry had their eyes on Ashes, not because they thought it was going to be good, not because they wanted it to be good even necessarily, but I think everybody wanted to see it continue its development, even if they have their own games that they're working on. Like, you know, it's good for the MMO genre to have more good MMOs, despite the fact that there's a lot of times that MMO players have this very tribal, there can only be one sort of mentality. Despite all those things, it's good for there to be good MMOs and more good MMOs.
This is what I'm saying as well. It's why I don't think anybody should be happy about this happening. I mean, first of all, people lose their jobs right now. There's hundreds of people that probably lost their jobs over this. People that don't deserve losing their jobs. Like, the developers did nothing wrong here. They were doing their job. They were developing. I can say that many of these developers, they were passionate about the game. This was a upper management disconnect, or like an issue in the upper management. And I mean, the core problem sounds like it's that some people got control that don't play games. I mean, why do we do this to ourselves? Why didn't Steven say there should be no shareholders in Ashes of Creation and Intrepid, and that's why this game is going to be so great? Because in Blizzard, for example, they have shareholders that don't play games, just buy yachts, and they make decisions, and that's why this game is going to be different. He already has a bunch of money, he is fan funding it. On Kickstarter, you can buy a bunch of packs, you buy alphas, that's why they sold you cosmetics in the alpha. Just, yeah, like all of these things to avoid exactly this happening, and then it happens anyway.
And more people playing them.
To my point though, the reason why people shouldn't be happy about this game like dying is because other games can pull inspiration from what works and what doesn't work in this game. World of Warcraft, dragon flying for example, in World of Warcraft, is directly taken from Guild Wars and their flight system. And many like mount stuff in WoW is inspired by Guild Wars, and many things in Final Fantasy is inspired by WoW, and vice versa, right? When one game does something, and it sucks, other games see that, and they see, well, we're not going to touch that. Just going to like, they tried, it failed, cool. But when one game does something, and it's really good, and people love it, other games can do something similar now.
Because it's good for the genre, it's good for the industry, it's good for all these individual people that message me and ask me like, hey, what do you think about this, what do you think about that thing? It's good for those people's personal careers, right? Because they it's good for their job security, right? The whole thing sucks. It's weird they're laying off everyone. They said they're doing a stress test. Well, here's the deal. So this message that says Vera is still growing and the road hasn't been easy. We've shared a director's letter addressing the top concerns. We're hearing about RMT bots, PPCs, and bug performance, and here's what's ahead. So they put this out 2 days ago. But here's the thing. They put this out 2 days ago. Theory Forge was reading something that was sent to him from somebody. Likely a lot of the people working on the team did not know all this stuff yet. Some people probably did, but likely a lot of people didn't know because they said they didn't get their notice. Or the plan was to notify them on February 2nd. Apparently this was the beginning of the downfall. What is this?
That's why I love
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Okay. Thank you. Damn. As we return back to Coach S Band in just a moment. A moment of silence. Ashes to
Dude, you're so stupid. Oh, ashes to ashes. Oh my days, dude. This is so good.
ashes. Dust to dust. Just like Season of Discovery. Dust to dust. This is like a really bad thing for the industry. I mean, I don't think MMOs are dead, right? Some people are going to be like, MMOs are dead. MMOs are. You know, some people are gonna. I don't necessarily think that. 2 months ago, I was like, wait, we might be on the cusp of like an MMO renaissance here. Maybe there's a lot.
Oh, dude, the RIP 07 Ashes, man. It was fun. We had some good times. RIP Ashes, bro. I really miss Alpha 1. Alpha 1 was a good time. I didn't play too much in Alpha 2, and also Early Access didn't play too much, but Alpha 1, man, was really different. And late stage Early Access, when I did play as well, I really enjoyed it. I feel like this never had to happen. Season of Discovery still has players. Yeah, you keep telling yourself that, man.
MMO stuff going on, right? We got Burning Crusade Classic, and by the way, Burning Crusade Classic, this launch of Burning Crusade is way more popular than the original classic Burning Crusade launch from 2020. This launch of Burning Crusade is way more popular than the original classic Burning Crusade launch. By the way, Burning Crusade Classic, this launch of Burning Crusade is way more popular than the original classic Burning Crusade launch.
I mean, I make content on TBC. Bro, anybody got any makeup? Because like that right there deserves a clown mask. I think I actually have a clown mask. Like, I'm not saying TBC is not popular, but saying that TBC again is more popular than TBC, TBC Classic, bro, really? So TBC Anniversary is more popular than the TBC Classic, you think? Really? Really think about this as fans. It might be for you at the moment, due to like making more content on it and more videos, but really?
From 2021. I don't know how. I think it's because of the leveling boost, which sounds insane.
No, it's not more popular. Stop coping. Now we need Narc back. You are high on copium. And I say this as somebody who plays TBC. I'm literally doing AV as we speak. But it's not more popular than TBC Classic the first time. Nope.
Insane. But there was times where I was seeing like over 100 AVs, just hundreds of battlegrounds happening at the same time. It's insane. Well, even the 2 servers thing, all the battlegrounds were linked before. So there's tons of battlegrounds. It's insane. It's not the server, because the battlegrounds were all linked across all servers. It is crazy how many people are playing. Oh, I'm an employment lawyer. Wait, this is interesting. I'm an employment lawyer, but they're just going to be paid for the remainder of the 60 days. And there's no more work to be done. I'm an employment lawyer. So is that something that you know, Murdoch? Like, you know that for a fact? Or is it like the law says that you just have to keep paying them? Technically, you could ask them not to come to work or anything? Is that how it is? You have to keep paying them for 60 days, but they don't necessarily have to do work?
That would make absolute sense, though. Like I said, like if you're being issued a warn issue as a developer, and you know the game you're coding will never come out, why would you keep coding for 2 months? It's just, oh, keep developing this game for 2 more months, but in 2 months we're throwing it in the trash. Then why would you keep developing when you know it's going in the trash anyway?
If there's no work to be done, it's just pay. Wait, Murdoch. Matt Murdoch is a blind attorney. What is Daredevil's job? Daredevil is in my chat? Holy. The real Daredevil is here. I've been seeing him out. He even made a blind pun. It's him. It's actual Daredevil. What the heck? How is he writing? Cinema. Surely there's going to be more Ash of the Creation news. Like this is a developing story. So surely there's going to be more stuff coming out about this. When it does happen, we'll go over it. We'll talk about it again. But I know there's a lot of fans of Coach S Fan that want to see the franchise continue. Thank you guys for watching the YouTube video. This sucks. This is brutal. I know this is something a lot of people really looking forward to.
All right. There we go, S-Fan takes on the Ashes of Creation stuff, and some absolute copium saying that TBC Anniversary is more popular than TBC Classic was. So, hey, great. With the lack of copium in Ashes of Creation, I'm glad we can now bring some of that copium and hopium over to some TBC instead. Yeah, the TBC Anniversary right now is more popular than TBC Classic was. Just like Classic Anniversary was more popular than Classic WoW was. 100%. Source, trust me, bro. You know, I'm just gonna keep watching some videos on Ashes of Creation, man. I'm just gonna keep this rolling for a bit, because, yeah, this is insane. This guy right here, by the way, not everybody knows. This is Nico Too Low. I have not subscribed on the second channel yet, because we haven't reacted to a video by him. I played Arcade with this guy way back when he was making content. I was not making content at that time, and we played together in Arcade. Just like fun fact, I guess. Not so fun, but it's a fact anyway, so yeah. I warned you, Steven Sharif left the game. This guy has been hating on Ashes for a long time, by the way. He's basically Narc 2.0 in my eyes. So yeah, let's just see what he has to say. I'm hoping that some Narc was right in here, dude, because, like, once again, bring back Narc.
$120 to not even... They should pay you money to play the Alpha 2, by the way. It's already that you are even paying money to test the game, okay? They should be paying you money to test the game, okay? First of all, okay? Then you...
This right here is like a clip of his stream from back in the day, right? Yeah. Alright, yeah, let me just, like, do a quick intro here, I guess. August 2024. This is what he said in August, right? Then he has one from November as well, so a little bit of like what he said in the past, and then we get into the actual juice. All right.
You're paying money to test Alpha, which isn't even a game, right? Like,
this is my stance as well, by the way. If I wasn't making content, I would not play this game during an alpha. I don't think anybody should ever pay to test a game. Unless you, like, have this real inner desire to really test the game, but don't pay for it to, like, play the game, because, like, you're not playing the game, you're testing it.
even they're saying this is like some like giga in development shit that is barely playable. I think this game is going anywhere. I genuinely don't believe that they are anywhere near completion, and there's so many, like, there's two people in the Ashes of Creation community. One is like, this game is so much better than even the current MMOs and it's only in alpha, and the other one is like, you can't criticize the game because it's in alpha. So either way, I don't think after 8 years of development this is something you can defend. Even if they've been developing this for 2 years, I think this is questionable, and 8 years is just an insult, especially considering they're charging $120 for this, and 5 years ago, they had a much better, in my opinion, baseline of a game, decided to swap over to Unreal 5, and now the game is just a scuffed version of a 2010 MMORPG or something. Like, if I saw this 10 years ago, I would probably be like, yeah, could be kind of interesting. But as the more I play, the more I think this is not going fucking anywhere. Ashes of Creation died, and I was right.
Okay, dude.
Once again. And
Okay,
the haters in my YouTube comments, the haters in my Twitch stream, they're saying, Nico, you're just a doomer. You're just a doomer. You don't... Guess what, bitch? I'm right. Every single time.
Damn.
Now, we're gonna dig in. Because today, as much as I hate seeing a game shut down, I love having people who lie and deceive. And I'm not only talking about Steven here, I'm talking about all of the different content creators glazing this game over the years, especially the Ashes of Creation specific ones, but even some WoW content creators that recently trickled in
Oh no.
also started glazing the shit out of the game. And I love seeing people exposed for lying. So this was Steven's announcement today. I can make a limited statement in my personal capacity and not on behalf of the company regarding the situation. Control of the company shifted away from me, and the board began directing actions that I could not ethically agree with or carry out. Who is the board, you may ask? Well, according to Reddit, the board is him and his husband. Who is he talking about board for?
Yeah,
Wait,
dude.
wasn't there something Steven always talked about in every single live stream on how they're not under the thumb of some greedy investors?
Yeah, dude, that's what I thought as
do
well.
see a lot of people ask this question, even like non-stream days. In regards to the long-term aspect of it, you know, funding, I think, is always the concern there. Obviously, you've said that, you know, we're not going to launch till we're ready. So basically, until Steven's like, I love this game, it is my future, and I'm going to play it every day of my life.
That's right.
We're not launching. And so what coincides with that is, how are you funding that? And I think a lot of people have questions in regards to that. I don't know if you're willing to share
Sure.
that aspect of it.
The bottom line is I am committed to this project's success and completion. And that means that when it comes to funding for the additional years that perhaps were not planned for, that's coming out of mine and John's pocket. And we're okay with that, because what we see in front of us is not only a team of extremely talented individuals, but also a community that is extremely passionate about the project and wanting to see it come to fruition. You know, it's not just about what our personal desires are, John and myself being MMO players, but really it's about the fact that we've created a following, a community of players who want the same thing or similar to the same thing. And that's something that's at the forefront of my mind anytime I walk into work, is how is what we're doing today going to impact the players tomorrow? That's a very important question. It's a product-driven development aspect. And you know, I believe, based on the millions of players we already have pre-registered for the game, that Ashes of Creation is going to be one of the most successful and largest launches in MMO history.
As a result, I chose to resign in protest rather than lend my name or authority to decisions I could not ethically support. It's kind of wild is having someone talk about ethical in the context of a Kickstarter game that was essentially instantly shut down without any further notice,
dude.
while boasting about open development. If you've seen the live streams they've made over the years, most of them were acting, theater plays, pretending there was content and events and whatever else going on in the game, but not without anything to actually back it up. So from someone like this, it's kind of crazy to me that you talk about ethical, because nothing you did was ethical. Following my resignation, much of the senior leadership team resigned. We saw that. All of the people that you've ever known to work on the game, by the way, Steven said multiple times, it is 250 people involved in this, which, by the way, to anyone saying this is an indie studio, it definitely wasn't anymore. Might have started out as one, but wasn't anymore. Following those departures, the board made the decision to issue WARN Act notices and proceed with mass layoffs. Over the years, Steven has made comments on Twitter whenever anything happened to other companies with layoffs, where he took the moral high ground, where he's saying, oh my god guys, this is a terrible thing, you should apply to us, blah blah blah. Or something like, on the website, family. That's a good thing that your employer talks about you being part of their family, right? The gaming industry can be a turbulent storm of hiring cycles and layoffs. We've set out to do something different, to break this cycle and create an independent studio capable of withstanding the chaos of the industry.
I got family.
What words! Oh, General Steven, thank you for your generosity. And now he's pushing this onto the new board that all of these mass layoffs are happening. But obviously, this basically means the game is over. So the title of my video and all of these other content creators is not actually hyperbole. It's actually happening. Yep. And it's also happening within like a couple of days. Like yesterday, rumors were starting.
Dude, it just happened so fast, man. It went from a month ago, one of the streamers I was watching was just like, oh, Ashes hype, Ashes hype, Ashes hype. Even a bunch of WoW streamers just started streaming Ashes of Creation 24/7. Just long-ass streams, grinding, and having fun playing this game. And then January, of course, they started playing WoW again because TBC is on the horizon. And then I didn't really hear much about Ashes, and then suddenly I saw a video about a rumor. And then 12 hours later, the rumor basically got confirmed. And now here we are, 12 hours later. The last 24 hours has been insane. In the last 24 hours, it went from a rumor to another rumor, to confirming the rumor, to now here we are. Like the announcement by Steven, Margaret taking away her role on LinkedIn and issuing a message as well. All of the other people removing their work at Intrepid on LinkedIn, for example.
To murmur around the community because people started changing their LinkedIns. Like people that worked on Ashes started saying, oh my god, open to work on LinkedIn, or changed their entire role at the company, or just remove the company. There was a lot of things going on and people were worried. So within one day, that was yesterday, like afternoon, so with less than 24 hours after that, it's basically shut down. Effectively over. And that's crazy coming from an open development, very transparent studio, right? That would definitely happen to a studio that was transparent. Absolutely. And you probably saw the clip earlier from my 2024 Ashes of Creation review when Alpha first launched, from the intro. And if you knew about that, then you might have known that Steven himself commented under my video.
Oh.
Greetings, Nico. I'm happy to hear how much you enjoy the concepts of Ashes. I'm sorry you cannot see us delivering on our vision, and I can understand your fear of Ashes taking too long, given how much we are trying to achieve. What I can say is that our team has been part of building some of the largest and most successful games ever made. The development road can be daunting for even the bravest souls. And if ever our journey causes you or others despair, it is sometimes healthier to put us aside and check us out when we are closer to launch.
I'll give them, when's that going to be now? When is the closer to launch going to be?
Well, Steven, I feel like maybe you should have listened to the people who were warning you about the state of your game and not outright and publicly conceal what is actually going on behind the scenes. Because we all would have loved to know what's going on. And me personally, I actually started out as an Ashes of Creation fan, believe it or not. I actually got hooked on the project because of the node system and all of the different servers basically having their own content. So the internet can't figure it out so fast. I thought it was a great idea. I also love sandbox MMOs. So for me, Ashes in a concept state was a fantastic idea. But over the years, it's become clearer and clearer and clearer that you had no clue what you're doing. And if you said that on the stream, you just pretended otherwise. You said like everything's going right, or you saying things like this, that like you're so successful and everything is working just as intended. Or Steven boasting on Reddit about how his game is different and how he will do everything differently. I think as a player, there are two main aspects of Ashes that has some people excited. First, but we are making basically risk versus reward. Not everyone is a winner. A world that develops around the player, no pay to win, no quality of life items, massive open world, emphasis on social community driven systems. Turned out you didn't know how to.
You know what game I want to play, man? Instead of people trying to make Ashes or new games, give me Arcade Classic. That's all I need. A non-pay-to-win version of Arcade Classic.
To make any of that. Because even the PvP itself is still, to this day, so broken that it's basically unplayable. The corruption system specifically. And even the trading and the crates. Second, who we are. We aren't governed by greedy corporate overlords.
Oh, yeah. This one right here is lovely. We are not governed by greedy corporate overlords. I'm funding the project, so no investors or a board to answer to. No investors or a board to answer to. No investor or a board to answer to. What exactly happened today then, huh? What's happened the last 24 hours here?
I'm funding the project, so no investors or a board to answer to. No publishers to appease. We speak with, not to, our community. And we actually listen to feedback and value, respect our players.
Okay.
So he wants to make a game. There's no...
So there was no board. He went back here real quick. So there was no investors and no board to listen to. But in here, in the second sentence, control of the company shifted away from me, and the board began directing actions. So I mean, what happened to the previous statement here, man? That we can go like back to here, for example. What happened to this one? There are no corporate overlords, and you're funding the project. There are no investors or a board to answer to. What happened, man? What?
Our players. So he wants to make a game. There's no board or investors to appease to. No publisher. Yet somehow the evil board has taken over Intrepid Studios, controlling the narrative, controlling the game, and he can't do anything about it ethically. Yep. Oh my god, how did this happen? It's insane what's going on right now. Absolutely insane. He also wrote like heinous comments about Narc before, basically painting him as a villain.
Yeah, justice for Narc, by the way. Narc, please come back. We need you. We need another Narc video. Just this time, we need a Narc video where he tries to like open up a Coca-Cola and it's empty. There's no more copium. And open with Narc was right. Narc was right. Crack open a Coca-Cola. There's no more copium. It's just empty. And rant video.
Of the industry, and he did the same in my YouTube comment, but not to this extent, obviously. Or something like this, where some guy on YouTube made a bad review or something. Hi Ziz, to be clear, I removed you from the official content creator program because you claimed that Intrepid was not working on our MMORPG, which was falsity you wanted to spread because you were unhappy with our development process. You then subsequently created a video that insinuated pretty heavily that our project was a scam. helping to fuel the tinfoil tribalist haters on /MMORPG. So I removed you from the community. To be clear, there are a lot of people putting our blood, sweat, and tears into making this game, spending countless hours working to make something that will make our community proud. When an individual of your talents chooses to act in such a manner, it can be quite demotivating. Regardless, I hope you're well and staying healthy. Ladies and gentlemen, Ashes of Creation has met its end. Only to the surprise of the people who weren't paying attention. And I want to call you out right now. If you were a content creator misleading people into this project, no matter if you are a full Ashes content creator, a small one, a big one, someone from another community, I despise that. Because it was clear, and we all know what you were doing. You were trying to invest into a game that might become big so you can grow as a content creator. But you did this at the expense of people, and it was very clear for very long that this is, in fact, not a game that you should invest your time into. At least it wasn't yet, because over the years they've shown over and over that it's gonna take tens, if not decades, multiple decades to finish.
You know, I agree with everything he said in the video so far. I do like Nico when it comes to the way he talks about Ashes as well, and I think he has a lot of right opinions, but this one right here, I don't buy. I don't think you should despise, like, sure, hate me for the 2 videos I made on Ashes of Creation, go for it. But I don't think everybody who makes videos on a game does so only for nefarious reasons of trying to make money and growing as a content creator. Some people just want to express themselves through content. I'm betting, like, why do you stream on Twitch, Nico? Do you not find it fun? Are you only doing it for money? Sometimes people make videos on a game because they like and enjoy the game, and many people enjoyed Ashes of Creation and they actually believed in the project. Now, we can all say that what happened here sucks, and I'm not super surprised that it happened, but was I fully 100% expecting this to happen? No, I wasn't. To me, it was a 50-50. Because we were led so much in the dark. Like, if Steven didn't say publicly that there was 4 people on the board, this is the first time I'm hearing that there's 4 people on the board, and that those 4 people are people from a private equity company from, like, multi-level marketing bullshit, right? It's the first time I'm hearing of this. And that's something I heard in the previous video we saw, not this one, right? So it's like insider information, but still. It's the first time I'm ever hearing about that right now. Many people just listened to the live streams, they played the game, they saw a game they enjoyed playing, and they made content about that game that they enjoyed playing. That's me as well. When I made my one video on the early access of Ashes of Creation, I just made a video on my honest first takes, like my first impressions of the game. Not trying to get anyone to buy into the early access, because I think you should never pay for an alpha, because, well, it's an alpha. You shouldn't really pay for an alpha. If anything, developers should pay you for an alpha, because you are testing the game, giving your feedback. So either they should pay you, or at least have like a closed alpha, where they invite people. So you sign up, but you get invited for free, and then you actually provide your feedback for the love of the game, right?
This. I did like some math in the previous video where I just talked about how much of the game they've actually done. And honestly, if we're being generous, it was around 10%. 10% of the game being done after 8-9 years of development is, well, if you do the math, we're gonna get Ashes of Creation launch in 2080 or something.
We're gonna be dead.
Now that none of that happens anymore, obviously. Now Ashes of Creation is basically over. I don't even know why they put out this other letter. Like, there was a letter, because they delayed the content creator. No, not the content creator. They delayed the new development update. You know, every month they have a development update, and they delayed that. Everyone was already surprised. But let's just say, after all of this, and I've watched a lot of this, and I played this game, I'm not so much happy that the game is shut down. I'm happy that it's exposed for what it is, and the people defending it and glazing it were also exposed for who they are. So, That being said, we will venture on to the next MMORPGs, whatever that means. And also, stop giving people money without anything to show for it. That have nothing to show you for, no Kickstarter, no... Even early access, I want to support less, because early access, I think, should only be a tool to actual indie studios and not some gigantic companies just trying to make a quick buck. So thank you guys for hanging out. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
There we go, boys. There we go. I think he has a lot of good takes. It's just I don't buy into this. Oh, you should hold all the content creators that covered Ashes of Creation accountable. They just wanted to like participate in the money grab or the money grab scheme. They knew it was a scam. They tried to scam you as well. Lots of people just wanted to have a new game to play, and maybe Ashes tickled they scratched their itch for like what game they wanted to play. World of Warcraft is not for everybody. Old school RuneScape not for everybody. Final Fantasy, not for everybody. Guild Wars, not for everybody. And for people like myself, I loved Arcade. At the moment, I can't play Arcade. They shut down in EU and North America, so I would very much like to have a game like Arcade that I can play. To me, Ashes of Creation was the closest to Arcade that I can actually play without going to like a private server for Arcade, personally. We're going to watch one more video on this, by the way. It's going to be a short one, like a 4-minute video by another person we have seen some videos on. And then there's a couple of tweets to look at as well. And then we are finally done covering the Ashes of Creation drama from the last day, okay? Just to give you all of the information, the videos, and what people are having to say. Because these are, once again, people that we have seen content from in the past on Ashes of Creation. So, as you can see here, we are already subscribed to Solheim from before, from a couple of previous videos on Ashes of Creation, and this one right here, Ashes of Creation, is officially dead.
Well guys, it is officially over for Ashes of Creation. So let me give you the quick, too long didn't read. Stephen Sharif has officially resigned. And as for Ashes of Creation, well, they've laid off all their staff. And this news comes on the back of a live stream being delayed, employees set themselves to looking for work, and of course a major botting issue with Ashes of Creation since its release onto Steam. Of course, it's very upsetting that this many people have been laid off. There's a very human element to all of this, which is lots of...
Can I give a quick context to this AOC drama or theme or... Basically, Ashes of Creation, game in development for 8 years, and they launched in early access on Steam. They boasted for a long time that they would self-fund the project and fan-fund the project, and they would not have a board of investors to listen to, or a board of directors, or not any investors or anybody to listen to, right, when it comes to decisions to make. And now he says that, oh, thanks to the board and their decisions, I left. So going back on the core principles of which they gained the fan funding, I guess. Quick TLDR, and now the game is dead after 8 years. And well, after 8 years and still not being out yet, I should say.
People are facing uncertainty. But there's also the other side to it, which was, we kind of saw this coming.
I'm just suffering through Ashes. It's just been as buggy, but it's not been released for 10 years. I can't do Ashes. I just think it's too much of a oversell as to what they actually have. I generally think New World's gonna live longer than Ashes. I don't think Ashes is going anywhere.
What is very telling is that in Stephen's message, which he sent to the official Discord, he basically blames it on the board of directors going a different direction from what he wanted, which forced him to resign. And with his resignation, much of the senior leadership also resigned, and following those departures, the board made the decision to issue WARN Act notices and proceed with a mass layoff. A WARN Act is an American legislation which basically gives public notice that the company is shutting down. And apparently for legal reasons, Stephen can't say too much more on this, but there are some takeaways from this. For instance, was you aware that this fully funded game had a board of directors and it wasn't just Stephen driving this project?
Yeah, this is the first time I'm hearing about that myself, because he said for a long time there would be no board of directors to listen to, and no investors, because he's like so self-funding and fan funding. And to me, that was like the reasoning behind why they sold early access on Steam, is the reasoning why they had 300 and 500 alpha keys you could buy as well as cosmetic purchases in the alpha. That was a way to self-fund or fan-fund the game. And here we are, they still had investors, so like, why did people pay so much money in early access and in alpha? Once again, never pay for a product in alpha. Wait until the game comes out. A lesson I've learned here, the hard way, is that until a game comes out, I'm just gonna pretend it's not real. Classic Plus to me is not real until it comes out. What other games are not real? The Riot MMO is not real until it comes out. Ashes of Creation was never real either. Just keep treating games as they're not real until they come out, because until they come out, they might not be real. Maybe they never come out in the first place.
And if there's a board of directors, that must mean they invested money, right? So this game wasn't just fully funded with Steven's money, it was clearly other people's. Also, if there's a board of directors making decisions, maybe they were the ones behind the whole let's get this to Steam as soon as possible so we can make some money. Because it was so clear to anyone and everyone that Ashes of Creation wasn't ready for early access on Steam. Now, you might be questioning, how long do you have to play Ashes of Creation? Well, effectively, as of the 2nd of February 2026, all staff will be laid off. This is according to leaked emails. There's nothing officially out there as far as I know, but it is a good source we have on this. And as for the servers, we can only speculate that they will probably be turned off as well. And let's be honest, they haven't been paying their bills for the servers anyway. This is truly a sad day for Kickstarter MMOs. And if only someone could have warned us about this money pit of a game.
Yeah.
If only former employees of Ashes of Creation spoke up about the mismanagement going on. If only the community and some of the content creators out there had listened to legitimate concerns that were raised and didn't just end all arguments with, it's an alpha. Do you not know what an alpha is?
Yeah, I know, bro. I know.
It's just an alpha, bro, right?
The guy's a fraud. And I think the fact that he tried to just shit on me, a guy who's got literally no presence on YouTube or on Twitch, and then he turns out to be the biggest prick on the internet. I think that just goes to show, one, the state of fucking Ashes of Creation and the people that follow it, bunch of frauds, and two, the state of Pirate Software, who's just a straight up fraud himself. The people that follow Ashes are just frauds, because the whole game is a giant fraud.
So what lessons have we learned from Ashes of Creation? Well, for starters, don't trust a Kickstarter run by a guy who's got no prior experience running a game studio, and his previous business was a MLM selling juice to people. But anyway, that's enough Ashes of Creation slop for now. I just wanted to make you guys aware of the news. I'm sure over the next coming days and weeks, more information will release and we'll get a bigger and brighter picture as to what's actually gone on. Thank you for watching. I'm going to bed, and Narc was right all along.
Oh, Narc.
Never lose faith in the mighty Sharif, because you're high on copium.
Oh, dude. We'll need a natty Narc comeback video right now, dude. That would slap so hard. The Narc comeback video bouncing off of this news? Oi, oi, oi. The amount of Narc was right. I'm not ready for it, man. It's gonna be insane. Also, we are being farmed right now in Aldrich Valley, by the way. Absolutely farmed. For some reason, the Horde is turning every game into a turtle game right now, and I'm absolutely not enjoying it, as you guys can see. Something I did want to bring up, though, is a couple of tweets that I've seen as well, that I think raise pretty interesting concerns, okay? Let me just... dude, we're being farmed. But come on, man. Yeah, we're being farmed. Being absolutely farmed. Let's see, if I go here for a second right now... Yeah, so like I said, I saw a couple of tweets, right? Annie Fuchsia tweeted this yesterday. And finally, in the case that Ashes of Creation does not launch, we promise to refund all backers in full. It was like a retweet by Towley. Towley made that tweet as well, right? And showed that statement on the Kickstarter if you bought it through Kickstarter. In the case that Ashes of Creation does not launch, we promise to refund all backers in full. And then this. OMG, this was the reason for the Steam launch. I'm wondering what you guys' takes on this is. Does the Steam Early Access launch qualify as a launch? And can they use this as like a legal background to be like, oh, but the game launched though, right? That the game launched, so we don't have to pay you back. Because in my opinion, if you paid for this on Kickstarter, you are absolutely not getting the product you paid for. And they did say, if it doesn't launch, you will get your money back. Are people in for like a massive amount of get their money back times? Potentially. Pirate Software tweeted this. We talked about Ashes of Creation a ton today on stream, and the following situation feels like genuine malice. On the Kickstarter for the game it says, and finally in the case of Ashes of Creation does not launch, we promise to refund all backers in full. Ashes of Creation recently launched into early access on Steam. Does this launch count as completion of that requirement on Kickstarter? If so, then all of the backers are shit out of luck. If so, that makes the whole Steam Early Access launch, which was in December, right? It makes that feel even more bad now, because now it feels like one last cash grab from the community itself to milk Ashes one more time before permanently shutting down, and number two, a way to like back themselves out of paying people back. Just be like, oh, but look, we did launch, guys. Guys, we launched, right? Remember the Steam launch? Yeah? That was the launch, man. You can't get your money back now. We fulfilled the requirement. Are you not happy? Is this not the game you paid for? That's crazy if that's the case, by the way.